I was completely broke. Couldn't find a job. Eventually, I moved down to Myrtle Beach to stay with my niece who lived in the Conway area. The opportunities here are primarily in the tourist industry, and while the season is in here, you can find some pretty good work. Sometimes you can get along, but as soon as Labor Day hits, everything just disappears. It dies, and there's no work. And even people that manage to live and function during the season, during the off season, they struggle, and a lot of people go homeless. My name is Bill Davis. I'm 59 years old. I'm single. I had 2 kids I raised by myself, 2 boys. So one of them still lives with me. I was born in Crossville, Tennessee, but grew up pretty much in Dayton, Ohio, until I reached about 18. At that point in time, I joined the Marine Corps, and I was very fortunate. I got into a program called NESEP. NESEP is the Navy Enlisted Scientific Education Program. The Marine Corps sponsors that. You apply, and they put you through college, and at the end of that time, you're commissioned a lieutenant in the Marine Corps. I was in computer programming for many years, and after I sort of migrated into marketing and sales, and beginning in 1994, I went to work for an executive search agency in the information technology area. And when after I'd done that a few years, I started my own business and had that up until just a couple of years ago, when the employment situation really went downhill in the country. By the time I left Management Recruiters, I was at a 6-figure income. I continued that on after I started my own firm. I had that business up until about 2.5 years ago. I had the sort of double bad luck of the house I bought was what they call a synthetic stucco. Literally began to just fall apart. The stucco siding itself began to slough off, and there's no recourse, there's no solution for it, because you can't sue the builder, in my case, because I was beyond the statute of limitations and insurance won't cover it. So I had no choice but to just let it go, and so it was it was foreclosed on eventually, and it ruined my credit, and so that was sort of the beginning of the downhill slide. So I started trying to find other things, and really had a hard time. By that point in time, I was well into my 50s, and so believe it or not, with nothing left to do, I ended up coming down here and driving a cab. It's the only job I could find. So I did that for 2 years. This is where we're sitting right now. It's a Veterans Welcome Home and Resource Center in Little River, South Carolina. It's about 20 miles north of where I live in Myrtle Beach. Someone told me about it. I sent them an email and told them I was in trouble. I'd gotten an eviction notice from my landlady. They got a check off to my landlady. They did a lot of things for me to help me sort of get stabilized, and referred me to Experience Works. Experience Works is not meant to be a long-term thing. It's usually 6 months or so. So I'm still in the same position I was before, except I have managed to become somewhat stabilized and able to look for another job, but I'm still in the same boat, really. I need a job, and I've continued to put resumes out, but there really aren't a lot of jobs in this area right now. I try to be optimistic. I try to believe that things are going to get better. After a couple of years, you start wondering about yourself, whether, are you causing this problem, or is it just the environment, or, so a lot of self-doubt and things like that go through your mind, but I don't know. It's just part of my makeup. I don't know anything else to do but just keep going, and keep hoping, and just adjusting to the reality of the situation. I'm alive. Right now I've got a roof over my head. I've got a car to drive. It could be worse.